Do this. Oh, that's much better. Good morning, Aarons, and Crypto G. F-bomb, howdy, howdy. Been waiting all morning for this. Been waiting all morning. Well, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. What do you want to look at? To me, most of these charts are still pretty boring. Most of these charts are still pretty boring. I was trying to investigate this range and see if I could find an example of like where we're at right here. I kind of feel like it's almost this high. I don't know. We just lack any real pullback on this expansion leg. I think everybody's feeling that pain, and yeah, I don't know. And it's just in a weird spot. It's just in a weird spot. I don't know. We go down lower time frames and take a look at some local price action. I mean, we formed a low and off of a high, and we swept the high, and likely sweep the low. There's no real support down here. SFP of the low back to the high, I think, is the most bullish scenario at this point. Because you don't really want to start, in my opinion, you don't really want to start trading down into these levels down here, because I think you're just going to cut through all this. And I mean, there's the potential of just purely running all the liquidity, right? So say come all the way down. Let's get this off. That was yesterday's. That's old news. Yeah, whatever. Just run all of this liquidity down to there and SFP that level. Like maybe. This is like, here's another way I'm looking at this. I'm going like, okay, like institutional, big market players, they all existed in these areas. I don't see him hanging out here with us up here. I don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't see it. So, I mean, like, just this looks like more like bots in retail. Personal opinion. It does not look like institutional players or smart money. I mean, what a fucking low sweep there. Woo! I mean, that's decent. That's a decent climb there, but it just lacks like inefficiencies. You know what I mean? The only real inefficiencies, it's created a couple and filled some of them. You know what I mean? It created that, filled that. It created that, filled that. It created that, filled that. A little bit here. Oh, this is the unfilled part. That's the unfilled part. And yeah, I mean, I will say that given the situation of a decent range on top, I mean, this sucker's actually fairly decent. It's existed for an entire day. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Just as it being like like it's not a little tiny micro range. Sometimes I'm looking at these these little tiny ranges on like the 1 and 2 minute time frame. I mean, that's an entire day's worth of price action right there. Is that the whole session? Can I view sessions? Are you going to let me view sessions today? Nope. Every time I have to delete it from the chart and I have to put it back on. Oh, so boring. And then you tell me this bullshit. Let's just delete some more stuff. It's fine. Whatever. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's like you got through all of New York in this range, all of Asia in this range, and all of London in this range. It's still within the contents of this range. So it's like, yeah, I would say, yeah, it's a pretty significant range, right? That's 3 whole trading sessions, an entire day's worth of price action, and you couldn't break the high of it, placing weakness upon the low of it. And yeah, and if that low doesn't hold, let's put a price label on it. 106,672. I mean, if that low does not hold, does not SFP, let's do something a little different here too. Let's go ahead and get a little. I feel like I got to get a little bit more crafty right now because this is some odd price action. All right, so I'm gonna say that it's gonna probably need to lose like 106,300 for me to really say that this range has broken down. And then I'd be looking for a back test into this area. Hopefully we can form some obvious supply, and probably target down to there or so. I don't think I think CVO was saying something about that yesterday too. Yeah, there's like that. Feel like smart money is playing with high time frames, 3-day and up. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, when you look at the daily chart and you go like, I do anyway. I say to myself like, that looks like a fairly smart money play right here. The run of this low, it alarms me that we did not dip into the demand. And I've checked multiple charts. That seems like a very much smart money play. This is quite possibly, I'll say it. This is quite possibly a Model 1 reaccumulation to actually break the high. It's quite possible. And I hope so, because I love all you people and I want to see you prosperous. And I think breaking the all-time high, like really actually breaking it and establishing a new value of Bitcoin, would be good for all you people. So I want to see that happen. Yeah, Bitcoin, you're boring. It's absolute. You just couldn't quite be more boring today, could you? So, what do y'all want to look at? Because this is Snoozeville over here. I don't hate the idea of getting rid of some of this liquidity. It sucks because, well, yeah, like New York Open only brought us up to there, so they only added to the problem. I don't hate the idea of getting rid of all of that liquidity and filling this gap, but you're going to need some obvious market structure here, so I'll define that in a minute. But fill this gap here. Hey, template, bruh. Fill this gap and maybe tap off of, like this piece here. Supply. Yeah, but obvious. I think you're gonna want some obvious market structure. Fill up that gap. Something real obvious like that. Where you see a break and you see a retest. That would make me a bit more comfortable. And then, I'd still target down to 106. Is that what that says? I'm getting new glasses eventually, I swear. 106,672. Something like that would be attractive today. Just remove that liquidity, fill this fair value gap, knock off of the supply that created the fair value gap that entered at the top of the range. Yeah, that's slightly attractive. Because that at least, again, that would, what's another way we can look at this? If we come from this high to this low here, that should just about get us up into premium. Pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah, I'd feel much better about an idea like that. But that's about all I got, man. So, y'all wanna y'all got anything else you wanna look at? Because I'm just gonna start stabbing at random charts now. What's Ada been up to? What you been up to, homie? Just being weird. Now, let's clean a couple things up here. I have like 4 things on my chart, and I'm like, let's clean it up. I've been let's change time frames here. Let's go to like the 30 or so. Maybe let's even bump it up to the 1 hour. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. So following the downward structure that brought, hey bro, come on. Following the downward structure that brought us to that low, you first start breaking 1 hour structure here, right? And you create demand, and you come back and you test that demand, and you have a nice pop off of it. And during that pop, you start breaking other structure, right? Boom, boom, breaking more structure, doing the breakings of the structures, right? And in and about all that, we formed some new demand. And that demand being from right here to right here. And I've looked at this zone on a lot of charts already this week. Well, 8 is in there. So let's take a little bit of a closer look here. All right. And so do we have a true top? Not really. I don't see any like strong wicks up here indicating like trapped buyers at the highs. I see that we did lose. What time frame are we on? Were we on the 1 hour? Yeah, I think we were on the 1 hour. So we lost a little bit of 1 hour structure here. We came back into like this OBIM, set a new low, and broke a little bit more structure in doing it. So get back on there. So get on the gittins. Yeah, so I would treat this area like new supply, and I would be aware. Let's try the 2. No, I think I liked it better on the 1. I would be, God, it's better on, no, I like it better on the 1. I'd be aware of these 2 areas inside of that zone. But this is essentially this zone right here. Like, we're just picking on ADA, right? But this zone from 55.40 to 52.88, this is the same zone that I'm looking at on pretty much every other chart as the zone that would need to hold to come back and break these highs. Like it's just the exact same zone, right? So if I go to the Bitcoin chart, that's this zone right here. Right? That's that same zone. I think Sol is getting close to it, if I'm not mistaken. Where'd Sol go? No, it's clear down here on Sol still. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's regardless of the point. That's still it's still the zone. I still mean what I say, right? Because I still think that is what holds up your primary structure that you formed from the low. Right? You lost a little bit here, but I'd still say that is your primary structure. This is the zone that needs to hold for higher highs. Blah 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 blah. So I don't know. Can we get anything good to happen down here? We can incur about a 10-minute break of structure coming out of this zone right now. Yeah, what actually looks worse on the 10. But I'm just talking about this high right here. I'm just talking about this guy. Just talking about that high right there, man. That's all I'm talking about. Um, yeah, and so it's like, is demand in control or is supply, and is demand about to take control, I think is a better way to state that. Is demand about to take control? Because, like for the last 18 hours or so, supply's been in control. Maybe. I mean, like I can tell you one thing for sure. What is this level? What is this? 56.24. My ass would be taking profits there in a heartbeat. I live on BTC. Yeah, I live on BTC too. I live on BTC too. But I like occasionally, like sometimes when I look at the BTC chart today, I just go like unfun, man. Like I don't like you make for a piss poor dancing partner today. And that's normally when I start to look at other charts. If I look at Bitcoin and I go like, dude, if I try to dance with you today, you look like a drunken idiot that's just going to try and step all over my toes. You're going to be a piss poor dancing partner. Like it just doesn't. You've been out at the bars too long. You're a big sloppy mess up here. I don't want to dance with you. But like ADA, I'm like, well, you look a little bit more settled in, a little bit more cozy. You know what I mean? Like that's one. That's when I tend to trade more altcoins, is when Bitcoin looks like hog water. ETH. What did we have on ETH? What did we haveth on the ETH coin? The ETH coin. Yeah, some pretty shit price action still. Still some pretty shit price action. Looking for a run on that high. That run on that high, first of all, exceeded the stop loss significantly. And it only returned to the 50% line. So in other words, it was a initiation, mitigation, attempted continuation. I guess it did end up kind of getting down there, but the stop loss got blown out on it. So we hit this level. What the hell is that? Yes. Yes, and had that planned up there for ETH. Let's delete some stuff so I can read. Well, I mean, like, it would have been cool if you'd have stayed on there, but I guess that's the way I drew it, so, whatever. I just want to clean up this. Bruh. Fine, go away. Fucking you go away too. I just want to clean. Dude, how many? Stop. Go away. My God. My God. Just want to clean that stuff up. I don't know. I mean, like I see the ETH has hit supply. I see that it's had a bit of a retracement, nothing significant, right? Little 3-4% retracement. Upward market structure is still intact. I mean, this piece got tagged, which leaves us back down to that same Shingaderis I was just referring to on the other chart. We are currently from this low to this high, getting close to discount. I mean, the shit thing is, though, is that this was still the most attractive zone on the chart for me. And the next most attractive zone on the chart for me is this area down here. And so trading in and about this area of the price action is like, it just doesn't sound fun. It just does not sound fun, right? It doesn't sound fun. Even if it were to come from discount. Let me do better. Even if it were going to come from discount and start showing some bullish market structure, actually that would be somewhat entertaining. That would be somewhat entertaining if we could actually get Sorry. Pardon me while I slowly die. If we could actually get something decent down in here, that'd be interesting. What's volume been? Go away, emojis. I don't want you right now. What is volume and whatnot telling us? Interest. Yeah, that's all pretty neutral. That's all pretty neutral. No love, no help there. We'll drop to the 5 because, you know, we're going to be able to break 5-minute structure here. And we've got no real measurable resistance until here, which is 2465. And the low is indeed coming out of demand. Demand that created a significant inefficiency. So, yeah, I mean, like, you know, yeah, I mean, like, it may come up for some of this stuff today. This doesn't look so hateful. If I'm going to be honest, this does not look so hateful. No, it doesn't look totally hateful. It looks fairly decent. Looks fairly decent. R's, how many R's do we got on that? If you get it all the way up to the high, maybe, you know, but like we need a close above 24.55 or 24.45 rather. I mean, you got to close up there, bro. Like you definitely got to close up there. Don't play with my heart. Oh, look, we're filling that inefficiency over here. Oh, well, that's a little bit more interesting now, isn't it? But we're not getting the structure I asked for. We're not getting the structure I wanted. We're just coming into this aggressively. I mean, it looks, sorry, I get a little distracted. Let's go back to ETH. I still need to close here. Now we're looking at a close. Yeah, that looks better already. Ideally, if you could just come back down and mitigate that, I'd love you. I'd love you a lot more. If you could roll over and tag this and then come up here, I'd make it a whole lot easier because that kind of gives us more of just a better stop loss on it. And yeah, it's just better. It's just more better that way. That's all I'm trying to say. It's just more better. I think that'd be a little bit more better. Yeah, so, you know, yeah, a little local. Hey, where did my demand go? It just evaporated right in front of my eyes. I don't know. I don't know. Not hateful. Not hateful, but like I just feel like the train already left the bus stop for me. And again, bro, like that, you gotta close up there, man. Why are you looking? You're looking so pitiful. So pitiful. Hey, who did I not say good morning to? D'Angelo. I didn't say good morning to D'Angelo. I definitely didn't say good morning to Luke Zaldania and Spiros Stavrov. Black and Blue, what's up, my guy? Poll. Yeah, cool. Sure, we could take. We'll take a XRP. Yeah, we can do X. We should be able to do XRP. Yeah, we can do XRP. No problem. Volume delta. So volume delta is, you know, let's delete this indicator. Let's put on standard volume. No, just regular ass volume, bro. Just regular ass volume. It's not too much different than regular volume as long as you use, your different candle colors on regular volume, but there's two reasons I prefer the volume delta. Is like I can see that this volume candle is like green and it's positive, and I can see that it was like more volume than that candle, but I don't know by how much. Like there's no fucking numbers here. Well, it's just guesswork, right? At least on volume delta, I can see that in this candle here. Let's use a horizontal ray. I can see that in this candle here. Hey, bro, hold on. That we had literally, what chart are we on? ETH. We had literally 21,960 ETH long. So I can at least see the quantity of it. And it's just a relation to like it just to me it just more clearly illustrates what did I just do? Long versus short. It just more clearly illustrates long versus short for me. So like, I look for divergences and stuff on this where you go like, okay, we have more short volume pulling in from this candle here to this candle here. We have more short entering than long, and that would be from this candle here to like up here. We have more short entering than we do long. Now, they could just be trapping those shorts still and burying them. I still need to see some sort of structure lost here. But yeah, I just I look for things like absorption with this. Where was a good example of absorption recently on Bitcoin? Let's go to like the 15-minute. Bro, you are killing me all the time with this shit. I don't know. That was literally the indicator I wanted that I just deleted. I'm going to delete open interest. Where was it? I'm trying to fucking recall. Here's a great example. The swing low. The swing low is a great example. You can see price comes from here to here, setting lower lows, right? And then we can see that the delta is setting higher lows. So it's just a, kind of a standard divergence. It's evidence that the shorts are being absorbed by limit longs. And then, you come back and break structure and take the whole thing to Pound Town. Yeah, just stuff like that. Like, it's just, yeah, it's like delta. Like I look at my typical stuff that I look at on indicators is probably all surrounding delta. You know what I mean? Like, cause I'm either looking at volume delta or I'm looking at open interest for the same thing for absorption. Or, I'll use, like occasionally, too lazy to use it all the time. But I'll occasionally use like coinalyze.net for their cumulative volume delta. But yeah, I'm just a big delta fan. I like to look for absorption. I wonder what we'd see if we just looked at our local range up here. Oh, I finally found an answer to a question that was killing me too. So, yeah, we can see a little bit of, so we have like a higher high here, and we have a lower high on open interest. But yeah, I mean, volume still looks pretty good here. Anyways, yeah, I'm just going to throw this out there. I thought this was going to be a lot more useful than it is. But I've been dying, speaking of delta, to find a way to use a fixed range volume profile to find out the total long and the total short of a range. And I finally figured out how to do it. I finally figured it out. You just have to set it to 1 bar. I was dying to figure this out, and I finally figured it out. That's so I just thought that was cool, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. You just have to change the settings That's a fib retracement. That's not what I want. Can I have my volume profile? Settings on the volume profile. Yeah, you just change row size to 1. That's it. You go up to like 300 or so. And well, it just decided to disappear and not. Anyways, doesn't matter. Moral of the story is if you set it to 1 bar, you get to see the total amount of long versus short in the range. Okay, what were we doing? We did so we're moving over to pull on Bybit spot. No, Binance Perpetual. Okay, so real quick, when I see this, I have one level that I'm currently interested in, which is that. So let's just double check and make sure there isn't more history on like a different chart. OKX, no. MEXC, you guys typically pay for good history now. Gate.io, no. Okay, cool. Then we'll go back to Perpetual on Binance. I mean, like, not good. This is not good. That's not a good thing. Which means that this is a weak low, right? Bruh, come on. Bruh. And so, knowing that the low is weak, I'm like, okay, well, talk to me when we get to the low. Talk to me when we get to the low. I mean, you can make the argument that it's doing the same. It's the ADA chart right now. This is the ADA chart right now. Probably, well, no, because I take that back because ADA was, I think it was ADA that we were looking at, was kind of hopping out of there. But essentially, I mean, it's not grossly different. That's still that same area I'm looking for. On a lot of these, you're still right at the equilibrium of that. That's typically a fairly good sign. You have supply above you. And because of when we zoomed out and we found this guy down here, I'd really rather just this is nothing like the Bitcoin chart, so I would look at this a little bit differently. I'd rather just try and shoot for that. Maybe even cover this high up here. That's what I would do. I mean, you have this like nice trident looking low in here. It's pretty sweet low. But like, I have to ask myself, did the low get put into anything sensical? Anything that's like, oh wow, well no wonder we have a low that looks like that. And yeah, not so much. I mean, was there demand here? Yes, there was. Does it meet all the rules? Yeah, it does. What are the rules again? They are, I need to use the replay tool, or this thing's going to drive me crazy. The rules are, catch up with the internet, do the interneting. Did price break structure from left to right? Yes. Did price form an inefficiency? Yes. Did price come up above another swing point? Yes. So is that demand? Yes. And I'm like, what happened? I'm like, wait, what happened? Come on now. I get lost sometimes. So it's like, does a low appear to have been created by that demand? Yes. Is that low essentially a little bit of a head and shoulders kind of situation? Yeah. Little. And why did I have no idea why I even fucking said that. Because I am not a pattern trader. I'm just saying, like, it's a pretty decent low that also locally broke structure from left to right and put in some manner of inefficiency, it just never really cleared this range of price here. It just never surpassed that. And so, yeah, we're back down into the low that attempted, this low had a job to do. Its job was to take out that high. It attempted it, and it has not completed its job so far. It looks pretty poor at its job. So, you know, sorry, let me get all that shit out of the way. It's this. This is my main problem. This is my main problem down here. That's my main problem. Rest of this looks pretty decent, you know, and you definitely do have some curvature of liquidity coming off of this high. It's 100% there. So, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird situation. Honestly, I think the whole chart gets a lot more exciting to trade if you can see something like this happening. If we were somewhere here on the chart, I would say this thing becomes a lot more exciting. But currently, I think I'd still rather short it. Even after, yeah, I'd still rather short it. I'd still rather short it. Oh, is that what Matic is now? This thing? This used to be Matic? Well, that makes me feel better about it. I mean, that makes me, because see, that changes things, okay? And thank you for mentioning that, right? Because that to me, I don't know, can we still find a Matic ticker? So let's remember that this was on September 24th. And this is on the weekly chart. September 24th weekly chart. September 24th weekly chart. Matic. September 24th weekly chart. Well, hold on, let me paste this on here. So probably this high, right? This is hard. Am I close? We gotta stretch it a little. Something. Okay. So obviously this is going to be really hard to match up because I'm a fucking moron in the way I'm going about it. But what that means is it means that there is nothing that exists prior to this. It means that there is something that exists prior to that. And that something was these lows. And we swept those lows. And we still, but we still have the same goddamn problem, right? Just remove all the drawings here. We still have the same problem of a weak low. And I still want to see the low touched and the high broken. Still want it. Nothing changes about that. I still want to trade the asset above. Once it is achieved 2763, this is what I want. I want this, and I want this, and then I want to talk about trading it. And until then, I'm not interested. XRP. Yeah, we'll take a look at FART. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna. We'll take a look at it. Who knows? I mean, maybe it's cool. Why is my phone ringing? What time is it? It's 7:51. Don't call me yet. Don't call me yet, people. You can call me later. Is this XRP? Is XRP? What time frame am I'm on the 1 minute? I'm like, what is happening here? I mean, I don't know. We planned a short on XRP yesterday from the looks of it. Bro, this chart is driving me crazy. Just blank. Give me a blank chart. Blank. No indicators. Stop. Stop with your shenanigans. Good Lord. I mean, I guess we never really gave this thing a target. Where's the... Oh, did we? Can I not see? Oh, I can't see. My monitor settings are still kind of jacked. I guess we did give this... It would have had multiple targets, let's be honest. It wouldn't have had just one target. That would have been a target there. And then, yeah, after that target, down into this region here. Hey, man, I tried to make it a cool target, and you hid yourself on me. So, like, that looks legit. Why, dude, what is up with the coloring on this? Okay, that makes more sense. So, you know, this is an important low to hold, or else you have just put in a distributive topping range. If you break this low, I would suggest that there's a high probability of filling this gap here. And it's a pretty bearish approach to the low, right? Meaning that you can't break any significant market structure until clean up here. So, you know, like, that's not a good look. Now, are we going to be fortunate enough to retrace clear back up into supply prior to a fall? I don't know. That'd kind of look weird at this point. That'd kind of look weird because it kind of looked like the low of the range is holding. But, I mean, you know, I can mark where I would rather interact with the asset, which would be back up into that region, right? And then I would be, okay, dude, that position just needs to go away. It's officially pissed me off. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think you'll get it, though. I don't think you'll get it. No, I don't think you'll get it. I think it'll probably look more like this. Right, and just kind of start filling up that gap. I think it'll look something more along those lines than coming back up into here. Mr. Alex O Crypto. Top of the morning, good sir. Love you, buddy. Yeah, yeah, so XRP. Let's get out to like the 4 hour and shit. Yeah, I mean, I still like that zone between $2 and $1.96. I still like that zone there. You know what? Hold on. I want a fresh XRP chart. I haven't seen a fresh XRP chart in a while. I was like, what the? Bro, why does this look so much different? No way. No way. Am I fucking crazy? Alright, well, whatever. Apparently it is the same. Apparently it is the same. Okay, so it's like you grab the... see, this is where... Yeah, this is where I start to get a little bit more concerned here. So we grab onto this demand here, and we form a swing low off of it. This low has a job to do. Its job's to fucking take out some goddamn highs, right? Its job's to take out some goddamn highs. And so it takes out this little high down here that would still be in, you know, overall discount of the range. If I'm not sadly mistaken, that would still be in discount of the range. Yep. Took out that high. Comes up to the next significant high, and then we run into problems, right? But it's like, well, wait a minute. Bro, you had a job to do. You had this high to take out still, and you had this high to take out still. You'd taken out the lows of the range, And so why have I not rotated to the top of the range? And then I look at the structure and I go, okay, all right, cool. All right, so we have established that. So what does the structure between this low and this high tell us? Well, I think that it flows like this. Meaning that there is a strong daily low right here. Strong daily low. Strong D-low. I can't spell to save my life. Strong D-low. D for a daily. If we look at it on the weekly, it's still a weekly candle close below there. If we look at it on the daily, it's definitely a daily candle close below there. You know, this looks a lot like a daily order block, with the exception that it is missing one of 3 rules. It is missing one of 3 rules. Somewhere locally, you broke structure from left to right, and you definitely put the inefficiency on the chart. Check, check. But you did not come and take out another swing high. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. So, I mean, you know, it just gives me less hope for this area. Less hope. Not no hope. Less hope. And now if we drop to the 4, no, I want to drop to the 15. Yeah, still a little, still a decent looking low in here though. Still a decent looking low. We know we're losing that. We saw that on the prior chart. Yeah, I still like 2.039 to 1.1967. I still like that the best. I still like that the best. But let me go back to the daily chart here. You're still internal to this and this. And my main concern is the potential bearish break of this upwards trend that came out of demand. That's still got my alarm bells ringing. But I would, you know, I mean, if bullish, then I would suggest that if bullish, then I would suggest that this zone should bring us to this, and it should initiate here. And then we hope for a mitigation prior to a continuation. And then we have addressed this range. And if that would happen, then we have broken out of this range. And so, again, if bullish, initiation, mitigation, continuation, back up to this guy. But outside of that, short it to the ground. Hey, lots of love to you, man. And yeah, this price action is painful, bro. Bitcoin is terrible right now. So bad. Well, I think I've officially overstayed my welcome. And I should probably go. Oh yeah, I said Fartcoin. I think we're entering the demand zone on Fartcoin. Yeah, my bad, bro, my bad. Fartcoin, farting coins. What are we doing? Farts. I don't practically remember anything I said about this. Oh yeah. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we is, homie. Let's take a closer look. You're shifting 15-minute structure out of there. Been nice to fill that gap there, but let's just take a closer look at our structure. Let's take a look at our volume and whatnot. Nothing that is super appealing on either of those for me. But you have your consecutive candles up, you have your consecutive candles down. So, you have broken 15-minute structure here. Let's drop to the 5. Now, did we touch the high? I don't think we did. I don't think we touched the high. No, we missed it. Doesn't look super hateful. Return to zone, not super attractive. And by return to zone, I mean any manner of a take profit. Yeah, because like this, like I feel like I'd have to take profit here. And then my next target would be all the way up here. But like my issue is what do I mean by not an attractive return to zone? Zone being this zone is this took all of that liquidity and then broke and then retested and then set a new low. So it just makes it's just this looks like a harder climb to get over than something that would have just hit supply and kind of rolled down and hit demand and then started rolling up. That's a much better return to zone. This is not a super attractive return to zone. So you do have 15-minute market structure on your side, but like I feel like you would have to babysit the shit out of this. And I'd be targeting here and here with an entry, pretty much like entry conditions on this technically have already been met because it has both broken 15-minute market structure and remitigated newly formed demand, right? Like, so entry conditions, in my opinion, have been met on this for something like that. But the return to zone, I don't love the return to zone. So, I mean, like, I think it makes way more sense to short or to long here than it does to short here. But I'm just not entirely in love with the return to zone. That's all. That's all, folks. That's all. Now, see, if Bitcoin could cooperate with you, right? That'd be a lot better. If Bitcoin could cooperate and say bounce off of orb and come up and like take this high out, then I think that would really help this situation on Fartcoin. But yeah, I think well, first of all, let's get rid of some of this stuff because all this stuff is kind of old news at this point. Let's go ahead and get rid of that too. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. So early signs of Bitcoin bouncing off of orb and coming back, indicating that it wants to come back and run these highs up here would be, probably a break of 107.848 with a remitigation, something like that coming out of orb. Could come lower into orb still. But, something that could, then show that we're getting some demand out of Orb and coming back and breaking some structure and, retesting some demand for a lift up to here, that would sure as hell help Fartcoin. Sure would. Yeah. Hey, on to Pancho. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. And I am going to depart and see what call I missed. Uni. Bro. Just bad. Ugh. Anyways. That's all, folks.